Today we're going to go over the Chapter 19 exercises that you guys did before the break. Hold on a second. What was this stuff? All right, hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. All right, so here we have a third conjugation verb. We learned how to do a passive synopsis in this chapter. It's a third IO verb, and we're going to do the third person plural masculine. Okay, so the present passive is the most difficult of all of these tenses because it has the most variation depending on what conjugation the verb is. But IU are the vowels that you use right here. All right, our definition is going to be they for all of them. That's what the third person plural is. And they are being made, or just simply they are made, is the best. Remember, passive voice, the action is happening to the subject. All right, imperfect. You do an IE and then the ending, banter. They were being made. All right, and then the future is just this eval. Future tense for third and fourth conjugation. Does that? Does not use the be endings. All right. Okay, those are the hardest. Now the new tenses, perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect. We're going to take the fourth principal part. All right. But the UM is only for neuter and singular. So we got to change that to masculine and plural. And so I is the right ending for that. Fourth principal part is a 2-1-2 adjective, or a first, second declension adjective. All right, facti sunt. They were made, or you can do they have been made. All right, you continue with the fourth principal part, but you change the verb to be. Pluperfect is always had. All right, had to plup. And facti erunt. They will have been made. All right, I could have just said all that and have to type it. Okay, there's your synopsis. All right. Okay, a couple sentences into English and a couple into Latin. Number one, multi homines, many men. There's your subject. There's your verb. It's pluperfect passive. Many men had been freed by the judge. You need the word for by because judge is a person. So many men had been freed by the judge. Also note that the I here matches up with the masculine plural subject. They had been freed, they being a masculine noun here, so that's why I use the I. So many men had been freed by the judge. Number two, my family. There's your verb, delectata est, was delighted or has been delighted by your kindness. By your kindness. You can see the ablative endings. I didn't put the long marks, which you might be used to in Latin 1. But the O is still the ablative singular ending in the second declension, which is what this noun is, second declension neuter. So my family was delighted by your kindness. Okay, number three, omnia. Now, we haven't seen this too much this year, but when this word is by itself, that's neuter plural, and it means everything. This is a third declension adjective, so that A would only appear in the neuter. So everything will have been prepared. Note that the A matches up. Everything will have been prepared. So that might have been a little tricky if you guys forgot. Omnia is everything, and if you ever see omnes by itself, that's usually everyone, because that's the masculine or feminine. So omnia, everything, omnes, everyone. All right, everything will have been prepared. Number four, the immortal gods. All right, these are both nominative plural. Sometimes you see gods shortened to just D. The immortal gods, we don't want to go to this. Let's go to our verb, skiddy errant. All right, that's from the verb to know, which I gave you here. You can see the fourth principal part. So the immortal gods had been known. All right, errant is from the pluperfect passive. So the immortal gods had been known. And then you can do, this could be dative, so it could be for their crimes, which makes the most sense, I think, here. So the immortal gods had been known for their crimes. Suis is what's called a reflexive adjective, and it reflects whatever the subject is. So their or their own crimes. Their. So the immortal gods had been known for their crimes. All right. Okay, number 5. Looks like I already did this one. My family, mia familia, was freed, liberata est, to get the fourth principal part of that verb, and by the judge, ab judice. All right, we had been prepared for the crimes. All right, so we need the fourth principal part of prepare, and we don't know if it's masculine or feminine, so either one of these would be fine. And then it's we had been prepared, and so that's pluperfect passive, and we're going to do the imperfect of to be. For the crimes, you need prime is a third declension noun, and so you need the dative plural. For the dative case, ibis is the ending for that. She will have been delighted by my kindness. So, fourth principal part, and we're going to do the a because of the she, and then a writ. So she will have been delighted. All of that is condensed into just that verb form. By my kindness. All right, so kindness is a second declension noun, and then my is just going to also match up with it. Okay, we're not going to use the word for ab for by. We're just going to put these words in the ablative case because this is not a person. All right, the argument against your crime. So argument is going to be our subject. We don't have to do anything to it. Against your crime, a little tough here. Contra is the word for against, and it's plus accusative. So crime is a third declension neuter noun, and so neuter nouns always have the same nominative and accusative forms. So it's just skelus. Now your is going to be neuter from the second declension to match up with it because that's a 2-1-2 adjective. So the argument against your crime has been prepared. So we need the fourth principal part, and we're going to put the on it, and then the s. We're going to put the to match up with the neuter subject. By the judge, and then by the judge. We need ab because it's a person, and judice. Ab judice. All right, and that's judge in the ablative case. All right, really tricky one here. Especially this form. If you got that form right, give yourself a pat on the back. Very difficult. Neuter accusative right there. Always the same as nominative. All right. Okay, hopefully that brings stuff back. We're going to move on to chapter 20 after this. And thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And walite. Bye.